Greetings everyone, I'm Adam Haritan, and today I'm beyond thrilled to be hanging out in an area that's pulsating with a buzz of periodical cicadas. Now some people love this sound, some people really dislike this sound. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the buzz, and I love heading into an area that's teeming with these extremely fascinating red-eyed insects. Now the word cicada means tree cricket, however cicadas are not true crickets, and although some people refer to cicadas as locusts, cicadas are not closely related to locusts. Locusts are closely related to grasshoppers, and they feed primarily on leaves and soft plant tissue. Cicadas, on the other hand, feed primarily on xylem liquids, which contain water, amino acids, and minerals. Now, the periodical cicadas that you're hearing right now belong to the genus Cicada, and these species are found throughout most of the eastern and central United States. Periodical cicadas spend most of their lives underground, and a particular brood of cicadas will emerge every 13 or 17 years. Yes, you heard that correctly. Every 13 or 17 years, depending on the region and depending on the species. The species that spend 17 years underground have a more northerly distribution in the United States, while the cicadas that emerge every 13 years have a more southerly distribution. Now, the periodical cicadas that can be found right now in June of 2019 in the Northeast belong to brood number 8. So if you live in western Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, in the tip of the northern panhandle of West Virginia, then you've probably heard or have come into contact with these insects. Now the last time this brood emerged was in 2002. So after living underground for 17 years and feeding on xylem fluids of plants, the nymphs have finally made their way to the surface of the soil just within the past couple of weeks, and they've already molted. Now the reason I wanted to bring you along today was not only to show you how fascinating these insects are, but I also want to show you something incredibly bizarre. Something that gets inside the bodies of these cicadas, causes their abdomens to fall off, and alters the behaviors of these cicadas to a significant degree. Of course, I'm talking about a fungus here, and this is a fungus I probably won't see again in this region for over a dozen years. So let's go see if we can find it. So this young ash tree is just teeming with periodical cicadas. And as I mentioned before, the periodical cicadas that are emerging right now, June 2019, in the Northeast, belong to brood number 8. And despite their relatively short life cycle as adults, which can span between 2 to 6 weeks, these periodical cicadas are essential components of this ecosystem. They're a valued food source for a wide variety of animals, including birds, mammals, reptiles, and arthropods. And the first cicadas to emerge face the highest predation pressure, with as much as 40% of them eaten within the first couple of days. Also, cicada tunnels aerate the soil and assist with tree growth. And surprisingly, the twig damage caused by egg-laying females essentially prunes trees and stimulates future growth. Okay, so I actually moved over a bit because this is actually a better tree. This is a hawthorn tree, and it is loaded with periodical cicadas. So what I'm going to try to do is pull a couple down, inspect the abdomens, and if the abdomens are missing, and if I see it being replaced by this powdery mass of fungal spores, then I know I have a cicada with a fungal infection. So I'm going to carefully try to pull a couple of these down and see what we can see. Okay, so I got a very vocal male right here, and this one is healthy. There's no sign of fungal infection, unfortunately for me, because that's what I'm looking for, but fortunately for this healthy male right here. So I'll let this one go. Try to pull down another one or two, see if we can find that fungus. I gotta be careful because they're very jumpy. Get a little deeper in here. Got one. Got two. Okay, both of these are healthy. Fortunately for the cicadas, unfortunately for me, because that's what I'm looking for, is a fungal infection. But I don't see any missing abdomen. I don't see these fungal spores anywhere, so I'll let these go. Maybe I'll try to find one more. It's a very thorny hawthorn. Oh, there's one underneath here. Got this one. Very vocal today, very loud. Again, I don't see any sign of fungal infection. This one looks very, very healthy. I just don't think it appreciates me holding it like this. But I'll let this one go. No sign of fungal infection here, but I'll continue my search because this area is just loaded with periodical cicadas. Finally, after looking around for probably half an hour, I finally found a cicada infected by that fungal pathogen. You can see it at the bottom right here. You see how the bottom, the abdomen is missing, and it's replaced by this powdery mass of fungal spores. So how does something like this happen? I mean, we looked at all these other cicadas, and I've been looking, pretty much every cicada has been healthy, but this is the first one that I saw today that has signs of this fungal infection. So after living underground for 17 years and feeding on the xylem fluids of plants, the cicada nymphs make their way to the surface of the soil. In the process, however, some nymphs, as unfortunate as it seems, come into contact with spores from a pathogenic fungus known as Massospora cicadina. While many of these nymphs will continue their life cycle unscathed by the fungus, a small percentage of the insects, around 2 to 5%, will soon develop an infection that manifests itself as a blown out abdomen and a powdery mass of fungal spores. So what you're seeing here is a cicada infected by the pathogenic fungus Massospora cicadina. This cicada's abdomen has already fallen off, and it has been replaced by this white powdery material that consists of fungal spores. Now the infected cicadas don't die immediately, and as you can see here, this little fellow is still active, though to a reduced degree. So rather than dying immediately, infected cicadas instead display strange behaviors. Males, for instance, act like sexually receptive females by flicking their wings. This behavior attracts healthy male cicadas who, by coming into contact with the infected and genitalless males, also contract the fungal infection, which could technically be considered a sexually transmitted disease. Now some infected cicadas even fly around, and in the process they spread Massospora fungal spores far and wide. The spores that blanket the forest floor can remain dormant for over a dozen years, awaiting the emergence of the next brood of periodical cicadas, ultimately perpetuating the success of this long-lived pathogenic fungus. As if all of this isn't interesting enough, this entomopathogenic fungus, Massospora cicadina, contains the alkaloid compound cathinone. Cathinone is a naturally occurring amphetamine found in Catha edulis. And Catha edulis is a shrub that is commonly chewed in certain countries of East Africa and the Arabian Peninsula for its stimulant and euphoria-inducing effects. Now, what effect might cathinone in this fungus have on the infected cicadas? Well, researchers theorize that cathinone in Massospora cicadina causes infected cicadas to be more active in spreading fungal spores despite the loss of their abdomens and genitals. As if it couldn't get any crazier, other species of Massospora that infect annual cicadas contain the mind-altering compounds psilocybin and psilocin, the same compounds that are responsible for the hallucinogenic effects produced by psilocybe and other magic mushrooms. Now, the vast majority of the periodical cicadas that I'm seeing today display no signs of fungal infection. And as unfortunate as the circumstances may be for the cicadas that have lost their abdomens and their genitals, personally, I find that the hunt to locate these infected cicadas, including this one right here, is absolutely thrilling. To me, and I know it may sound strange, but it's almost as rewarding as a morel mushroom hunt, because you never know what you're going to see. You never know how many of the fungi you're going to see. You never know how long it's going to take you to find these fungi. And although I won't be necessarily eating these infected cicadas, I would still consider this fungus hunt to be successful. And so I encourage you, if you live in an area that's currently pulsating with the buzz of these periodical cicadas, look closely and perhaps you too will find the bizarre fungus that destroys the abdomens and alters the behaviors of these spectacular red-eyed insects. Thanks so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I hope you learned something today about periodical cicadas and about Massospora cicadina. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You could also head on over to learnyourland.com, sign up for the email newsletter so that we can stay in touch. Thanks again. Happy Massospora cicadina fungus hunting.